Good morning, hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with HeisHockey.com, the victorious hockey company, and that wild and crazy junior hockey discussion group on Facebook. You are watching the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Hopefully this morning, Monday morning, you're sitting back in your office, in your car. God forbid you're on the John. Wherever you are this morning, hope that you enjoyed the crazy weekend of hockey that we just experienced. One can always depend on the NAHL to push us off the pier into the deep and cold waters of a brand new hockey season. The NAHL's self-proclaimed greatest show on ice proved itself to be yet another preview of what a great hockey season we're about to experience. Yes, there were a few growing pains with NAHL TV and the league's new statistical system, but otherwise, it was another fantastic event that was pulled off by Mark Frankenfeld and his crew from the NAHL offices. While it's only the middle of September, the showcase did uncover issues that a few teams are bound to want to address in the next few weeks. Clearly, the boys out there should not be comfortable with whatever roster that you on. I would say probably about a third of all players in the league probably will not be in that stall come Thanksgiving. Just the nature of the beast. So don't be comfortable. Don't burn bridges. Stay in communication with your youth coaches. Stay in communication with your options B and C, just in case. The BCHL is got a pile of players in camp. The USHL has a pile of players in camp. And ultimately, a lot of those kids will end up in the NAHL. Just the way it is. Let's start out today's recap or wrap up with the Central Division. Steve Howard's Austin Bruins picked up a trio of wins to keep pace with Cody Campbell's Minot Monotoro's atop the division. Division favorite Aberdeen, Scott Langer, and Corey Millen's St. Cloud Norsemen are just a few points behind their early leaders. A lot can be said about the showing from the South Division, but here's what we know. Year in, year out, there's going to be a war for that Central Division title. Every year, from top to bottom, we never know who's going to make the playoffs. It can be any four of that group. They're just competitive, and this year should be no exception. Maybe North Iowa won't be as strong as everybody else, but I'm not even sure about that. That coach seems to be on the ball and watching what's going on. He made good adjustments during the showcase, and we'll see how that works out for him. In the East Division, get my divisions right, Tommy. It appears that once the Northeast Generals rid themselves of General Manager Matt Dibble, this team has really come together. And the team is firing on all cylinders. The Gens were the only club to win all 4 games in Blaine and now have 10 points in the first 6 games of the season. The big surprise is Nick Skurlock's Maine Nordiques. The rookie head coach in his first campaign is off to a great start, with the Nordiques being 4-1, 0-1 in their first 6 games. Division favorite Maryland is a point behind Maine with a 4-2, 0-0 record. Midwest Division, apparently the Janesville Jets are more than serious about being contenders this year. Joe Dibble's Flyers were exposed a bit in Blaine, but looked good over the 4-game event. The Anchorage Wolverines sit a single point behind the Jets with a 3-1, 1-0 record. Nobody is surprised about Kenai River. Fast start, 3-2, 0-0 in the first 5 games. The trick for that Peninsula crew is to sustain that throughout the course of the whole season. Something that we haven't been able to see in a while, because start out well, get back to Alaska, realize that some things aren't equal to other teams. It's a nice way of putting it. And the kids get tired and frustrated with all the bullshit. Did I say that again? I'm in trouble. My wife's going to kick my butt. So I don't see Kenai being able to sustain that for the whole year. Taylor Shaw does a good job of keeping those kids motivated, but Nate Keel has a great way of this just destroying teams' morale year in, year out, like a clock. Division favorite Fairbanks Ice Dogs needed 5 games to give new head coach Ryan Theros his first North American Hockey League win. The expectation is that the young coach will deliver much more in a big hurry. South Division, I have a confession. I almost vomited this morning when I looked at the standings and saw El Paso on top. But I'll say this. They may be on top of the division. They picked up 3 wins in Colorado. Yeah. They didn't look so good against the 16-year-olds from U.S. national team. So let's just say this. I'm not impressed. But the hottest story from Blaine had nothing to do with El Paso. The Colorado Grit picking up 3 wins and everything to do with the circumstances surrounding the 3-year suspension of the University of Northern Colorado's ACHA team, a team the Grit shares their arena with back in Greeley. Is it true that the Colorado Bureau of Investigations is going to inquire about this? Interesting. Division favorite Lone Star went 2-2 at the showcase and now sit 2 points behind the leaders in a tie with Amarillo. Overall showcase was a fantastic event. I'm a bit concerned about what's going on in Greeley. That ACHA program has been really solid for a long time. If everything that we're hearing is true, the hazing incident involved the rookies or freshman players having to pick up the pucks. Really? And there might have been some underage drinking on a bus. Listen, every club, every team in college sports, probably across the country, and every school outside of Liberty and maybe Abilene Christian has this same problem. Sports, kids, college, beer. It's kind of like one and the same. Is it right? I don't know. I don't know if I really think that being 18 years old and you can't have a beer, that doesn't make much sense anyway. It's only here, right? Here in Saudi Arabia and a couple other countries. Doesn't make any sense that we're still doing this. And to punish the kids with a 3-year suspension. Is that a big coincidence that the Grit staff, I was told, were in the Greeley Ice House measuring the UNC locker room before the suspension was announced? Wonder how they knew that. Why are they so interested in that locker room before the Bears knew there was something going on? Smells kind of fishy to me, doesn't it? We'll dig into that story more this week. But until tomorrow.